gridiron to the airwaves. It's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff. So buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama Sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll, Tide, roll!
Roll, Tide, roll. So glad to have you up and at 'em with us on this free-for-all Friday. It is an intense day. Jacob Powell asked me, why am I looking so intense? Jacob, because I missed yesterday, man. It sounded like y'all had some conversation that I want to go back and revisit. So definitely want to do that on this free-for-all Friday, powered by the good folks over at TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness bring us our free-for-all Friday. And all free-for-all Friday means is we just go back and look at topics, revisit topics, conversations that we may have had earlier in the week, started earlier in the week that we hadn't finished. And so you're always welcome to bring that to the conversation as one of the maniacs. You can also go back and not go back, but actually bring up a topic that maybe you wanted to discuss and we didn't hit on during the week. So definitely looking forward to seeing what the maniacs have to say. Also, you can go and call us on the hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the hotline that gets you in on the conversation. So glad to be back with you. We've been a kind of crazy week for us. I think all of us, this is the first week, all of us missed at least one show this week. But I think the continuity because of the Maniacs has remained consistent. So yesterday was a good show. Appreciate you guys jumping in there and taking care of it yesterday. Simeon, how you doing this morning, sir?
Doing good. Glad to be on here on this free-for-all Friday.
Yeah, free-for-all Friday. Okay, now where we go, who knows? We'll see. But we have Super Bowl Sunday. There's 7 Alabama guys in the Super Bowl. So we can talk about that. We can even talk about the MVP. Did age and legacy in the fact that one guy may be at the end of his career get him the MVP over the young buck who's starting his career? That's a conversation to have. Did he have an MVP numbers, but did he also have like MVP players all around him? I mean, if you were to flip players, if you were to put May with the Rams, Stafford with the Patriots, who going to the Super Bowl? No, see what I'm saying? That's all I'm asking. Hey, listen, I'm an old dude. I love the legacy thing, but if these two guys were the same age, same point in their career, and one took a team that had won 8 games in the last 2 years to the Super Bowl,
yeah,
top of his conference. All right, I'm just saying. Oh, by the way, we have the ruling coming out today. Ultimately, I guess we'll know Bediako's final say. What you think about Sankey? Tim Coggins putting that out there. Disappointing to seeing Sankey taking sides in the Bediako issue at the last minute. Is he trying to reestablish himself? So that's part of the conversation. Simeon, you and I were talking about the DNA of a championship team. We're still gonna get to that conversation. So, like I said, it's a free for all Friday, man. We can be anywhere, anytime. Alabama won. Maybe I should just pick against Alabama in basketball. They beat Bucky Ball, but I'm not. Do you? How much do you read into that, Simeon? Was it because they played a great game? I think you have some insight there. Not sure if you shared it yesterday or not, but the other side of it is it just that we're gonna beat teams that don't have bigs inside? And we're gonna lose to teams who have physical inside bigs. I mean, that's just. Did we just beat ourselves? Did we play ourselves yesterday? I mean Wednesday, and we're gonna win those games, right? Or yeah, that's part of the conversation. So remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, bro. Oh man, where you want to go, man? You see any of these comments you want to jump on right quick?
Uh, let's address the Greg Sankey Bediako situation since that's happening today.
All right.
For me, I don't have a problem with Sankey uh, showing his support for an athlete in his conference that he's over.
But he didn't show support. He went the other way.
Wait, he did I misread that he said no, he doesn't want Bediako?
Yes.
Really?
He went against Bediako. He supported the NCAA.
Really?
Mm.
I misread that, dude. Wow. So I mean, that's even worse in my opinion. Because why would you speak against your player like that? Like one of your teams. Is that I guess that's him just trying to like you said earlier, force his way back into becoming relevant almost because this entire thing with the Bediako situation, his name hasn't got brought up one time, and maybe he feels like it should have.
Who, Sankey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so maybe this is him saying, "Don't do that again without bringing me into it, because I would like to have a say." Um, but I don't know. That is crazy. Then he's probably gonna get denied today. Then, if I had
Yeah.
to guess.
He's gonna get what?
If I had to guess with Sankey coming out in opposition, I would say that Vediago is probably going to get denied today.
And I might have a little different approach. First of all, I think it's a power play by Sankey, right?
For sure.
Uh, uh, to your point, no one's talked about he 2 years ago he was clearly the most powerful guy in college sports, right, wrong, or indifferent. You know, did he inherit a juggernaut? Yes, but look at the decline of the SEC under his leadership in terms of uh, football. And I'm not sure if he brought. I can't remember if he was the one that hired the basketball guy because that was a brilliant move. I don't know if you remember that, Simeon, but a few years back they hired a guy to work men's basketball to become the best basketball conference in the country, and that's working. But for what has happened in football, which still moves the needle across the country, and the power play is what's happening in football. If it was always about that, either the Big 12 or um, ACC would have been the power broker if basketball mattered. So Sankey has lost some influence, and if this judge were to rule against Bediako, Sankey Sankey had not come out and said anything, he would lose even more power. Okay, it's right. If they rule for Bediako and Sankey is for him, so he's going to lose influence because everybody else is against it.
Right.
If he rules, if he doesn't say anything, he gets guilt by association. You were for it anyway. The only play he had for a power play with everybody else, not his league, not his team, was to speak up against it. I think knowing that it may get ruled for Bediako. But it looks like, hey, man, I care about college football, college basketball, college sports. I am still a voice of reason. You see what I'm saying? Like he comes out in his statement literally says, you know, uh, he made Bediako like Bediako was the only pro playing.
Right.
He said pro players should not play in college. Undoubtedly, everybody else has said that international players are not pro players. Undoubtedly, that's the ruling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing I can say is that everybody, all of the people speaking out, Simeon, that's what they believe.
They
So
have to do that. Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, I don't want pro players playing in college, but I want them to make it clear, a clear dividing line of why. And I just don't understand why Bediako, in the fact that he signed a 2-way contract but never played. Never played. And the people I hear, Simeon, that say, well, he was in college and declared to leave. So it's you punish a guy who comes to college and leaves early, but you don't punish a guy or penalize a guy who forgoes college and goes straight to the pros. That's to me the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like saying, "Hey, Simeon, I would like to help you. Start off helping you. I'm going to help you for the next couple of years. Hey, I got an opportunity to go somewhere else. It didn't work out, and now I'm coming back to help you." That's what Bediako did. The other guy said, "I don't like you. I'm not going to help you. I'm bypassing you, and I'm going over here to help somebody else." Oh, that didn't work out. Hey, man, can I help you now?
Yeah.
That's literally what it's saying. Like, I want to be. Anyway, your closing thoughts on that, and then we'll get the break.
Oh yeah. No, it is a crazy, crazy world that college basketball and college sports as a whole has gone into because I mean this not only this but so many different other situations in college sports as a whole that if this gets ruled in favor of Bediako, there's going to be so many other dominoes that fall because of this. So I wonder if they're just going to rule against him just to try to stop the quote unquote bleeding that is going on in college sports.
Yeah. And we'll be back on the other side. We got some thoughts and comments from the Maniacs that we'll work in on the NCAA conversation. Simeon Tim Coggins said that you guys are going to talk a little bit about some strength and conditioning. You and I talked about that in the pregame show. We'll talk a little bit about that. Man, there's a lot to get to. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. And as always, we're powered by the good folks over at Box Eye Care. That's Box Eye Care, boxeyecare.com. Join us on the other side for more of this conversation.
Tide 100.9 Traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It is TGIF in the area and moving along quite nicely and not experiencing any severe delays. We do have some construction work that is ongoing, and you're going to find that on 2059 right there at the ramp to 359. Also, you're moving nicely here on McFarland. No problems to report from Watermelon to 43 and even beyond. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Got issues with youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit PCADevZone.org.
So, when was the last time you saw your doctor? If your last checkup was sometime between VHS tapes and flip phones, it's time. Say hello to Live Well Primary Care, West Alabama's newest clinic for getting your health back on track. With Dr. Baldeck and Dr. Steele now accepting new patients, you've got no excuse. Call 205-343-8070 to book your appointment today. That's 205-343-8070. Located in the DCH Medical Tower. Live Well Primary Care. It's time.
Hey guys, you're guaranteed to make them smile this Valentine's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers. They have roses, all kinds of floral arrangements, and fresh cut flowers, stuffed animals, and balloons. They make it easy. Call 345-3074. Tell them what you're looking for and they'll deliver it for you. You can also pick it up at Stephanie's Flowers at 514 Hargrove Road East in Tuscaloosa. Make her smile on Valentine's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers. 345-3074.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. And this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A very nice warm up today, partly to mostly sunny with a high at 62. For tonight, mostly clear, the low 32. Tomorrow, sunny and cooler, the high 51. And Sunday, a good supply of sunshine, the high in the upper 50s at 58. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 34 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Good morning. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. If you're looking for a local pharmacy, then you can't find anybody better than TJ and his staff. That's TJ's Pharmacy and Wellness. Just couple quick statements, Simeon. If any of this jumps at you, just respond to it at the end. But then we'll get to a couple callers and we'll circle back on some strength and conditioning conversation, and we'll tie it back into our thing that we think one of the top features that Alabama needs to have, or any championship team has in their DNA, is toughness. So here's just a few, but Tim Coggin said his statement says it all. Though it's unfair to allow professional players in college. International players are professionals. Uh, it, Pete Field says it was disappointing to see Sankey affidavit back in NCAA. Although I agree pros should not play in college, Sankey should have made a statement against all pros, not just Bediako. Pete Fields also said the issue is lack of consistency in decisions. Hollywood the Barber said it's all planned out. They're trying to do away with the NCAA. Okay. And then Pete Fields came back and said he must have an alternative motivation to establish. I think he meant to establish a hold in the NCAA. So Jacob Powell says Greg hasn't opened his mouth about any other team that has done this. He just needs to lose himself in another book series. And Heavy Hitter said, let's not forget he bent the rules when Mo Smith transferred within the conference years ago when there was a clear rule that it wasn't allowed. He seems to flip-flop a lot. Any of those statements jump out at you?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some type of ulterior motive. Now, that could be because he said just to be a power move so he doesn't lose respect, even more respect than he's lost, or that he thinks he's lost.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a ploy to eventually get more a position down the road. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
maybe a job with the NCAA because I think they're going to end up separating eventually.
Well, yeah. When you say, I don't know if it'll be the NCAA, but
Yeah,
I think you're going to see a power move. I think there's going to become some type of commissioner of college football, and
right.
the one thing you don't want to be, like all the other commissioners haven't had to say anything, Simeon, because nobody's challenging any of the players in their league. The NCAA didn't rule against anybody else. The only one they ruled that was a pro player, understand that, y'all. The only one the NCAA is saying was a professional athlete and player is Bediako. And so Sankey was in the position that if this fails, he didn't defend college eligibility. But now he has, even if it passes. He still saves face in
I
those
did what I
circles.
could. Yeah.
Huh?
I did what I could, you know, like,
Yeah. He's a politician. That's what this is a political move for his future. That's what I believe. I like I said, it's they are so inconsistent to me. The inconsistency ruling is what the problem is, and they're going to have to eventually. It's sad. Q Dixon said, I would have thought Greg Byrne and Oates would have gotten approval from the SEC first about Bediako before they supported this case. I think the university is just sick and tired. I think they're literally. I think that Q Dixon, I think they're pushing this case to make something happen. I think Bediako brings the hypocrisy to the surface. And I think that's why Alabama's doing it, to get some type of consistency, and it benefits this Alabama team specifically.
yeah. Uh, I think that's my my biggest thought about this is like, what does Alabama do once, like, say it gets ruled that he's ineligible? Does Alabama try to fight it again, or do they just let it go? Does it just go away? Does the NCAA just let it go if he gets ruled, deemed eligible to finish out the season?
Well,
So
see,
is
see the case the case is not going to be tried. This is whether or not he gets permission until the case is tried. See, the case for he has a temporary restraining order and everything. So there's been no official ruling. That's a separate case.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
So
yeah.
eventually, so they're just trying to say, like, is he going to be eligible until the case and the ruling is official?
Yes.
But
This is not, but because he only has 1 year and 1 semester left, by the time his case comes up, it's not going to matter either way.
yeah, it's
So,
gonna fool around and let Alabama make a Final Four national championship run. It's gonna matter a whole bunch still.
that's true. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Brendan Mass, and kind of sounds like this kid is a pawn in someone's political game. I don't know that that's the case. Not. I think that this is one of those win-win situations for Bediako if it goes his way. Okay, if Bediako is ruled and allowed to play the rest of the season, he's getting NIL money, which is more than what he was getting in the G League. It also gives Alabama this case to move forward. Philip, you're in with Martin and Simeon. What's on your mind, sir?
Just because, good morning. The judge could hear the case today, but he could also ask for more information for another hearing. I don't know if anything. It's not. I don't think
this is not the actual case, though, right?
I thought today was all about whether or not his eligibility would be recognized.
I have been traveling, so unless they move the case up, is this not the continuation of the case from the Tuscaloosa judge? Which judge is here in this case?
I think this judge is. I believe his name is Pruitt. I think. Yeah, I don't have that in front of me.
I'll double check and make sure I didn't misspeak. But let me go ahead. Go ahead with your thought.
Because what you said confused me. I nearly, when you said that, I nearly just hung up because it would destroy what I was talking about. But unless I've been asleep for the last 8 weeks, 6 weeks,
There's 2 different cases. There's 2 different cases. There's the judge who gave a temporary restraining order, and then there's the case about his lawsuit against the NCAA. 2 different things.
Okay, well, the first judge recused himself, and we have a new hearing today with a new judge. This is a continuation
about the restraining order. Hey, let me put you on hold, Philip, and we'll get Pat, and then we'll come back to you. I have to do a little research. Pat, you're in with Simeon and Martin. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, guys, that judge recused himself, and this is a continuation of that particular lawsuit. And that the new judge today will, whether he'll either continue the injunction or he'll rule in the favor of the NCAA and rule him not eligible. That's what this is all about. But guys, hey.
But what I'm saying though, Pat, is this is not the case of Bediako against the
NCAA, correct?
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah, and but hey, first off, Greg Stinky, not Stanky, and I want to. We need to print 100,000 shirts and sell them for $20 a piece. Raise $1 million for Alabama NIL off of this deal, and it's Greg Stinky, and we all wear them to the first ball game that Alabama plays at home next year. That Greg Stinky, because he had no business putting his 2 cents worth into this fight. If he couldn't back Alabama, he needed to keep his mouth shut. Regardless of how it goes. And you want me to tell you how I feel about Greg Stinky? It's Greg Stinky. And but guys, I'm excited about this Alabama football recruiting class as a whole. From what we got out of the portal, all of it. I don't think we got as much doom and gloom as you guys first predicted. I really like our defensive back end, and now whether or not we can get these defensive front seven to G-Haul together, I don't know. But that defensive back end's as good as it gets throughout the SEC and throughout the country, in my opinion. Do y'all not agree?
I agree. I agree that this defensive back room is the best in the country from experience and also talent-wise. I feel like the only weak spot for Alabama is the linebackers, just because there's not as much experience in the linebacker room. But I think other than that, I think this defense has the potential to be top 5, top 10 in the nation.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, y'all have a blessed weekend. Martin, I think we all need to be down there supporting Bediaco in that courtroom. We need to have 10,000 people down there supporting Bediaco. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to get dressed, put on my suit, and go my own self. All right, y'all have a blessed day.
Absolutely. We'll get the break here. I'll come back on the other side. I think that, and I'm going to try to make sure I clarify it in terms of what he can and can't do, and TRO versus. Now, it's possible that the ruling that could happen today could make him ineligible, okay, while he waits on his lawsuit. Okay, this is what they're doing right now is a ruling on a temporary restraining order, from my understanding. But I'm going to go back. Like I said, I'm not a legal person and not trying to make that that distinction. But I think that there's two different things. And Simeon, you kind of asked the question: what happens if he loses this ruling? Is it dead? We'll attempt to answer that on the other side. All right, you listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It is TGIF in the area. And moving along quite nicely and not experiencing any severe delays. We do have some construction work that is ongoing, and you're going to find that on 2059 right there at the ramp to 359. Also, you're moving nicely here on McFarland. No problems to report from Watermelon to 43 and even beyond. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
At Mercedes-Benz of Tuscaloosa, luxury may be closer than you think. Right here in Tuscaloosa, during their Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned event. Visit mercedesoftuscaloosa.com for details.
Hey, this is Richard Adams with Adams Heating and Cooling, your local experts. Don't let power outages disrupt your life or business. With a Honeywell generator, you get reliable backup power to keep everything running smoothly. Whether it's for your home or business, stay connected and comfortable no matter what happens. For a limited time, you can get a free 7-year parts and service warranty, as well as financing as low as $180 a month. Give Adams Heating and Cooling a call at 205-339-6540 or visit us at adamsheatingandcoolinginc.com.
Impress your family and friends for your big game party when you use kitchen equipment from Sanford Restaurant Equipment. They have electric and propane grills, fryers and butane burners, large pots, chafing dishes, and disposable chafers to keep your food warm. All types of utensils, including tongs, turners, meat tenderizers, beverage dispensers, and a huge selection of bar supplies. Make your big game party a breeze with kitchen equipment from Sanford Restaurant Equipment. They're just off Bridge Avenue before Dreamland in Northport.
Whether you're a working professional or an active dad, Gameday Men's Health in Tuscaloosa offers convenient expert back care for all men looking to feel and perform their best. They specialize in testosterone therapy, ED, weight loss therapy, and peptide therapy. Their easy 3-step personalized treatment plan will get you on the right track to feeling and performing better. All you have to do is stop by Gameday Men's Health at 1013th Street East in Tuscaloosa for a free consultation.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back in to the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. It's a free-for-all Friday powered by TJH Pharmacy and Wellness, and we're powered each and every day by the good folks over at Box Eye Care. All right, Simeon. I'm not a lawyer, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. So, no. But seriously, let me explain. I don't know if Philip. I think Philip's gone, but here's the deal. There's a big lawsuit that said, "Hey, I want to come back and play in college." Okay, I want to come back and play in college. The NCAA said you're not eligible. Okay. Bediako, his legal team, filed a request to get preliminary relief and ultimately permanent relief against this ruling. Because of the timing of Bediako only having 1 semester and the permanent injunction or relief being ministered, meaning the possibility of him being ruled ineligible or eligible would not matter. Okay? If you wait on the permanent injunction, because the season would be over. Okay? So a judge in Tuscaloosa gave a temporary restraining order. And the reason I think he gave the temporary restraining order, Simeon, is if the ruling were to happen in April or May, okay, it wouldn't matter. If Bediako wins the case in April or May, it doesn't matter. He has been punished beyond repair. He can't come back and get that back unless they now have to change another rule and says we're making an exception for Bediako to have 6 years to get that 5th year in. Okay? So what the judge did initially was say, we're going to temporarily let him play. Okay? And they did it on a temporary basis so that they would have a chance to hear more information. and see if there's any grounds that likely will give Bediako permission to play. Okay? Now he recused himself. Now today is about that case, not the overarching case that Bediako will. If Bediako wins that case, the big case, it's going to totally change everything. Bediako could be ruled eligible for the rest of this year and lose that case, and it doesn't change NCAA football. Ruling. It keeps them in power to do that. I think the TRO is going to be extended for that reason, because I believe Bediako, if you rule him ineligible, then he wins his case down the road, what good does that do him? But if he's ruled allowed temporarily to be eligible and loses the case, the NCAA really didn't lose anything in terms of being punished. Now, some of the other teams may be upset, to your point, Simeon, because Bediako could take Alabama to, a Final Four or something like that, and every team that they beat would come back and say, well, we were unfairly treated. But I think you're going to see the ruling go in Bediako's favor. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, it does. And I agree with you if you're using that logic in the sense of, like, say he does win the case, but it's after the season. They're either going to have to that win means absolutely nothing, or they have to end up giving him another year of eligibility.
No, I don't know that. That's why the judge gave him the TRO, is because if he wins after the season, he doesn't win anything.
Right. Right.
Now every other kid that comes back wins if Bediako wins, but Bediako, the plaintiff in the case, doesn't win anything if you don't let him play right now, and he would be, I think they call it, irreparably damaged in the lawsuit if he were to win it, if you don't let him play right now.
Right.
So that's why I think he gets to play. And that's also, to someone's point, that's why Alabama's not worried about being punished, because right now, under the TRO, he is legally eligible. Now, today either codifies that for the rest of the year, if they make it a rest of the year type of thing until his court hearing. But I also saw where his lawyers have tried to push it back a little bit. And I'm saying, and now they're going back and forth. So I think it's going to happen today, one way or the other. But we'll see. Anyway, AC, you're in with Simeon and Martin. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call. How you feeling?
Doing well.
Good. It's been a long time since I spoke with you. Sir, what's the point of the NCAA to come after Alabama basketball just because a guy played in the G League or NBA? Like, what's the point of all this? They want some attention? I mean, leave the kid alone. Let him play. That could be his last season. That's the way how I'm taking this. So leave the guy alone. Let him play the game. I mean, is he doing something illegal? I mean, can you educate me here? Is he doing something illegal, which is why NCAA is coming super hard on that guy? Is he doing something illegal, sir?
The only thing I can say, AC, is the fact that Alabama, he's the only one that signed a contract, and they had made these rulings and no one made a big deal. But I think they were able to, they had, in their minds, the only thing that makes you a professional is the NBA and a contract on NBA. That's it.
That's right. But the thing is, in every, I don't know how many colleges are out there. It's so many. I'm pretty sure some way, somehow, someone cheats. NCAA doesn't go after everybody. They just go after specific colleges they feel like they should start attacking. They're hypocrite, man. I mean, we like the game, but when you look at the corporation, they're the biggest hypocrite liars that they already are. They came after Michigan. Well, they didn't strip Michigan from their championship they won 3 years ago or so. So NCAA has their propaganda. I mean, at this point, I mean, you play the game for a long time. The game back in '90s, early 2000s was so fun, so exciting. Now it's like, what am I watching? It's like you touch someone, you threw a flag. Or in basketball, it's like the league itself got so soft, just like the Alabama Crimson Tide football. Thank you.
Yeah, AC's the he can't say anything nice about Alabama, so he sets it up so he could drop that right there at the end. You know that, right, Simeon? you notice the heavy hitter said, "Please get this goof off here," before he even started talking good. but the point behind it is the NCAA is hypocritical, and unfortunately, Simeon, he did drop a bomb right there at the end about Alabama football being soft. I would normally I go back at AC, but I have some concerns there. I had no intentions. I sent you all that article, Far Side, huh?
They're watching.
Yeah, Farsighted wrote an article based on what I said about the strength and conditioning program, and it became a big article out there for Farsighted, BamaHammer.com. So I thought that was interesting, but I do have serious concerns, and here's what I want to say, Simeon. This is what we talked about. Simeon, do I think the strength and conditioning program is bad? I don't think that it's necessarily bad in terms of the program. I just don't know if it fits. That makes sense. In other words, I think if you were to look at Blue's goals and the goals that they have, I think they're probably hitting the marks they want to hit. The question is, does it translate to the style of football it takes to win in the SEC?
Yeah.
Because Alabama's toughness in the trenches didn't go down because we started running West Coast offense. Our physicality from the time Ray and Ballou came to now, the style of play since Cochran left is different. Now, Cochran wasn't this technical strength and conditioning coach and things like that. That wasn't who he was, but he had some of the old school traditions, and Alabama started getting a lot of injuries, and that's part of what became a concern. But I don't know if it wasn't just that. I also think that there's a sense of what he got out of the players, that emotional, that I want to be here type of mindset, and that to me may be as much of what's missing about Alabama is that attitude, that nastiness, that extra oomph that I don't know that Ballou brings that to the table, even though he's hitting all of his marks.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think I'm not coming over here to say like that he doesn't know what he's doing or anything like that at all. I mean, he is very talented. He has his own program, and I'm sure that it's working well. I mean, Jaden Roberts is a product of the program, and he can lift out the gym. So but I don't know how functional that strength is. Because yes, Jaden Roberts last year was an All American, but did he ever show it consistently? That high level of how strong he was in the weight room? I don't necessarily think so. So I don't know if that's a representation of them not being able to have functional strength like that, or if that's just the player.
Yeah,
Could be a little bit of both.
good word you use there, functional strength or applicable strength. They are weight room strong, but I don't know if they're football strong. To me, if you want to figure out how explosive a guy is, check out his the clean lift. That's football 101. Man, if I had one lift, now if I had one lift I would get everybody trained on, I would make them strong in the clean, where you bend down, squat, and lift it. That's football. Bam! That explosion. You're releasing your hips, you're releasing from pushing from your foot base through your knees. Everything, boom, everything is engaged. That, and I would change the bench. Now, I benched well over 400 pounds when I was in college. But I could have, if I had done it like a lot of the other guys and like they do now, wide grip, I could have probably did over 5. But I kept my hands in tight because that's the way I block. My hands were right here, and boom. And so when I was pushing 400 and something pounds, when I went to the field with clean and bench and squat all working together, boom, it was a football strength, not just a locker room strength, Simeon.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think nowadays they're big on bench and clean anymore. I could be wrong, but I think they're moving away from those types.
That's what I'm saying. Well, some people are, some program, and like I said, it's all science and it's technology and all that. And like I said, they're hitting the goals. So you can't say they're not doing it. But the question is, does it translate? Does it translate? Samuel Pittman said you can lift weights all day long and look like a bodybuilder, but if you can't fight, you can't fight. So to me, there's the strength in conditioning, like applicable, functional. I love that word you use, functional strength plus mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, just mindset was crazy, Sim.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just think that you have to, it's both and. Like, you can have the mindset, and now granted, those guys that aren't as strong as you, mindset might be more important, truthfully, than how strong you are. Because there's a lot of guys that, like, you're stronger than them, but you know that they're going to bring it every single snap. Yeah. So it's frustrating having to go against them because, like, if you don't bring it, and they're going full speed, they're going to embarrass you. But even though you're stronger than them in the weight room, so I think getting that mindset in, which I don't know if that's from the strength and conditioning coaches part is supposed to bring that. I don't know who's supposed to bring that on the staff.
Yeah, it's two things: strength and conditioning. Most of the time, we think of strength as weightlifting and conditioning only in the sense of running. I think conditioning in your muscle. That was one of my thing. Simeon, there was people who could lift a lot more than me, but I could work out with almost my max. In other words, I didn't, after 2 or 3 lifts, I didn't get tired. I could almost put my max on and rep with my max. And so I had muscle endurance. So when I got tired, I was still strong. And so I don't know that's part of it either. So it's a lot. Man, it's a free-for-all Friday. Who you got winning the Super Bowl?
Seahawks. I got the Seahawks.
I'm pulling for the Seahawks as well. My hate for Tom Brady rolls over to Drake May. So, because Drake May did us wrong. He was committed to Alabama, and then he went to North Carolina. So, there you go. But anyway, that's Timmy Houston. I'm Martin Houston. It was truly a free-for-all Friday. Hopefully we'll get good news from Bediako's case. Hopefully the Seahawks, 4 Alabama guys gets that national championship.
Oh, well, I think
Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, everybody. We'll catch you back on Monday for more great conversation. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.